Ready? Play.
Zheng versus Mboko. Obviously, Mboko is such a rising sort of talent on the WTA. And she gave Zheng a run for her money, didn't she, Carson?
She did. This was, close for a while. Zheng didn't necessarily play at her best today. Mboko's level was pretty high, so I think you can see there's still a gap in between what Victoria Mboko can do against top 10 players and the distance that she needs to grow. But making the third round here, I think it's an encouraging tournament for her, and she can come out of this tournament feeling pretty good about where she's at right now.
Is Zheng kind of drifting through the tournament without people really thinking about her in any sort of contention capacity, Damien?
I don't know. Today was a bit of a blockbuster. I don't think Mboko gave her a run for her money, to be honest. I think that Qinwen was just playing so heavy that basically she couldn't attack the way she usually wants to. And in that sense, I think she executed the plan very well. But for Mboko to hit 5 winners in a match, that probably last happened when she was 12. So I'm actually very impressed with Qinwen's ability to get through these first 3 rounds and never look bothered, really. She's just looking like an elite pro who's obviously likes this court, likes these conditions, and is just gonna basically not lose to somebody who's not an elite pro either. So yeah, I think today it's pretty weird to me that she said that she played her worst tennis of the tournament, although it's just 3 matches. But I think she was just perfect today in terms of just applying the right game plan and sticking to it, whatever, really. I think she basically locked Mboko out of play so much that I'm kind of surprised she called it the worst. But then again, it's just 3 matches.
And Vanch, obviously, she won the Paris Olympics here. Coming up to 9 months ago? 10 months ago. Does that also give her a little extra edge coming into this tournament?
Yeah, I think she's actually exuding quite a lot of confidence and swagger. Just mentally, she just looks in a really good spot. I think the Rome run really gave her a lot of confidence, even though it kind of ended the same way the WTA finals match ended for her. But she got the win over Aryna Sabalenka, which was really big for her, mentally. And also just the fact that she won the Olympics last year, the way she's played these last 3 rounds, she just looks really large and in charge when it comes and taking care of business really comfortably. I did expect this match to be, I did expect Mboko to have more moments in this match than she did, and Zheng just executed really perfectly with how heavy she was hitting from the baseline, and it just the contact points weren't what Mboko was used to against previous opponents. So that's a big deal on clay when you can give yourself that extra time and you hit as heavy as Qinwen does. So I am, I was circling that Qinwen and Aryna quarterfinal, and I think we're probably going to get it. Although, I know Samsonova does lead the head-to-head 3-2. But I wouldn't read too much into that because their last meeting was 2023 August, Cincinnati, and that's Qinwen is a much better player now, I think.
Samsonova beating Yastremska 6-2, 6-3. Very routine for her, right, Bench?
Yeah, to be honest, I've watched very little of Samsonova this whole week. I've just been looking at this. I don't think I've watched more than 3 or 4 points of her just because of when she was scheduled. But yeah, she's another player who just kind of kind of is a little inexplicable to me. Like she'll take a lot of like early losses, and then like suddenly the week before a major, she'll like either win a title or get to at least the semis, and then maybe come in with enough confidence to get to a fourth round like this. She hasn't made a quarterfinal yet. But the match against Qinwen, like maybe she does offer something more tricky than, for example, Qinwen had today, and I'm still definitely like not ruling out her chances, but I would be surprised if she made it a step further. I think this is where she's always proven is her ceiling in the majors so far. But at the same time, I do like her forehand, for instance, is one of the best when it's clicking. She does have a good forehand drop shot too. She does have this combination of like power and some finesse, which is always useful on the clay. But we'll see. Yeah, I haven't seen too much of her this week.
Qinwen still not heavy favorite, but favorite for this matchup, Carson?
I think a favorite. It'll definitely be the strongest opponent that she's faced today, and same goes for Samsonova, strongest opponent that she's faced today's match. It honestly was a little bit more about Diana Yastremska being Diana Yastremska and just spraying balls all over the place a little bit. So, yeah, it's going to be a very interesting matchup. And yeah, as Vanch said, when Samsonova is playing well, like she's can reach a very high level. It's just the level of consistency, and not sure if she can hold up for 3.
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect. Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paulini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Do not adjust your sets, ladies and gentlemen. This is a fusion between Talking Tennis and Tennis Asia TV. Eddie, how are you doing today?
Forgot to turn on my mic there. Yeah, very good. Cheers, John. Yeah, it was enjoying the weather here at the moment. It's very warm. So
oh, right,
it looks,
okay.
Yeah, and it was about 29 today, so hot. And yeah, it looks warm and pleasant there as well in Paris for this match today between Samsonova and Zheng.
Yeah, I've got my eyes on Paulini Svitolina. Paulini did get one of the breaks back, but she's just looking disconsolate again because she's just squandered a forehand and been broken once more. So Svitolina will serve for the match there. We are here, of course, though, to talk about Qinwen Zheng against Samsonova. But given how close we are to the finish line, I have got both of my eyes on Paulini Svitolina. I don't know if you've caught much of this encounter, but I was thinking as it was getting right near the end, so when Jasmine was serving for the match in that second set, I started thinking about that Vekic semi-final, but in reverse, as in like Vekic was the front runner throughout and Jasmine was hunting her down, you know, whether it be the first set lead and Donna Vekic, you know, just crushing it basically and looking like she was just levels above Jasmine. And yet it was Jasmine who was smiling. It was Jasmine who was chasing her down. Even in the third set, she was a breakdown for large parts of that third set at Wimbledon last year. But being the front runner, it's a different mentality and a different level of anxiety. And when you're serving for the match and you have match points come and go, and then you're beginning of the third set, it's so difficult to regroup.
Yeah, and I suppose that's what makes tennis an interesting sport, is like these things can happen. You've got to be prepared for them. Yeah, and I wasn't able to watch the match between Paulini and Svitolina, but I was following the score, and then I was a bit distracted. But it looked like Paulini was on course to win, in 2 sets. So to see her down, what was it, 4-love in the third set? Sorry, was very surprising for me.
It's a hangover from what had preceded it. The end of the second set. Even the tiebreak was super close, and it was a couple of unforced errors, I think, at the end of that tiebreak from Jasmine that, gifted that second set in some respects for Svitolina. And it's tough. It's 30-all, so Svitolina's trying to serve that out. And when we get a match point, or when the match is concluded, I will give you a shout. But we've got here, obviously, Qinwen Zheng. A lot of praise for her in terms of the way that she's progressed in this tournament. I think Pavlyuchenkova was her first round, and I don't think she's dropped a set yet, has she, Qinwen? As she's obviously knocked out Mboko in the previous round as well, also in straight sets. So this is a different proposition, though. Samsonova, pretty aggressive in terms of her game style. I think she made the final maybe in Strasbourg recently. Am I right with that?
Yeah. So, and somewhat surprising, I suppose, because she's not had a lot of. Yeah, that was actually her first final that she'd reached on clay, right? So again, had some good wins there against Daniel Collins and Badoza as well, right? So yeah, obviously good for her to come into this tournament, and seems like she's carried on that form somewhat. But on the other side, we have Zheng, who also came in good form, obviously reaching the semis in Rome and actually finally getting a win over Sabalenka that had eluded her for so long, because she lost those 6 in a row, right? And then, but it's going to be a different proposition today against Samsonova, who also had a pretty big game, but Zheng just came through, and Mboko, who also has a big game, and that was going to be, I thought going into that it was going to be a good test of seeing how well Zheng is actually playing at the moment. And I was very impressed with how, because Mboko did put her under pressure, and very talented player with a lot of power and ability to move her around the court, and yet Zheng seemed to be locked in. And whenever she was sort of, Mboko looked like she was going to get, maybe a break or get on top. Zheng just stamped it out very well. So that gives me confidence there today that Zheng's probably going to be able to get through this match as well against Samsonova.
Svitolina's got over the line. She's won 6-1 in the third set. She's elated. I was watching Paulini receive serve when Svitolina had the match point, and it looked pretty, emotional for her. Let's say that. I haven't seen her walk off court. She's now okay. Yeah, I think this. I don't know Jasmine's career inside out, but probably the toughest loss of her career, given the stage and given how close she was, obviously, to a French Open quarterfinal. She was in the final last year, but that never felt close. It was Paulini that was pulling off the remarkable wins this time last year, and she still was doing so as little as sort of 2 weeks ago in Rome. But today, it's, as I say, front runner scenario, very different for her. And she'll have to regroup and go again, obviously, for the grass court season, where she excelled so much last year as well. So that is that. But Svitolina is about to give her on-court speech, but now I can probably hone in, at least for the next 15, 20 minutes, and stick with you for probably large parts of this first set, depending on how it pans out. We've got a couple of game points I see for Samsonova.
Ooh, I've just seen Samsonova that ball wide. That was quite a nice rally from both players, and then Samsonova taking a chance up the line on the forehand side, and it just dropped wide into the tram lines, and Zheng has a break point. So,
okay. The scoreboard needs to be updated, I think. It's quite funny how the men's match started exactly the same time as the women's, and Paul and Popperin was over and done within a flash, and this match has started, and we're still waiting for the second match on Chatrier because of the length of that Paolini-Svitolina match.
Yeah, well, it's surprising a little bit, I suppose, from Paul. I mean, great for him to be able to come through in straight sets. I mean, he struggling to get over the line in the previous match. You know, and played 2 5-setters in a row. I mean, he's a pretty, you know, athletic and tough player, but that's still impressive. And obviously, he's going to need as much energy as possible if he's going to play Alcaraz in the next round.
Yeah, he's going to need every bit of he could do with Alcaraz, you know, dropping a set or two today. Of course, Alcaraz has to beat Ben Shelton. I can see Ben. Listen, if Jamur can take a set, and I know tennis doesn't work out that way always. I've got game point on my TV for Samsonova right now, by the way. I don't know where your stream is at.
Yeah, it's game point. Yeah, advantage now.
Yeah, he's going to need everything. So I know tennis doesn't work out this way in that, you know, if Jamur takes a set, then Ben Shelton should be able to take a set. But I can see him getting a set just because Carlos can be Carlos and Ben can be Ben too. Even on this surface, I've seen Samsonova go long there with a forehand. She's well taped up today, but I often see Samsonova taped up to some extent. She's got some leg strap on her, and arm as well. She's got on her knee, she's got one of those kind of like very thin bands that occasionally you would see Rafa have. On her on the other thigh, it's well taped, well strapped up. And then on the arm, she's got some taping as well. She looks like she's about to fall apart.
A good array of bandages. We've got all them all. Of course, we see Zheng with the compression sleeve on her right arm, but I feel like everyone's
for large parts of the year, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of players are wearing those these days, and the men and women. I don't know if more for precautionary reasons, but when it's still going on, this game back to deuce.
Yeah, must be. Well, I see 10 minutes on the clock, but I'm not sure when they start that clock because I saw another clock saying 7 minutes, but whatever. Oh, 10 minutes for the match, of course. Yeah. So we are back to deuce here, which is kind of good news for Zheng in that obviously she's making an impression on the Samsonova serve. So even if she doesn't quite get the break here. Zheng is in this group for me, or even on her own as sort of, probably in a group along with Mira Andreeva, just behind the front runners of Sabalenka, Goff, and Swiatek in terms of favourites for the tournament. I don't know if you put Zheng maybe on a par with those first three, or whether you don't put her as highly as me in terms of being just behind those three.
Yeah, I mean, I think she is sort of just behind the top three, but I mean, I think as well she's maybe going a bit under the radar here in the sense that, like, obviously on her side of the draw we've got Sabalenka, and you know, but she obviously had that win recently against Sabalenka, and I think that you know, like, that's obviously going to be big from her, at least certainly from a mental point of view, but also the fact that she's won. She's carrying good feelings here in Paris because she won the Olympics here. And she does seem to be quite confident, I feel, on the court. She's so like mentally and playing well, and you know, if she somehow manages to get through Sabalenka, then well, you know, you give her a chance to take the whole tournament. But yeah, obviously still a long way to go, and you got to see, obviously Sabalenka still has to get through as well. So, but
it's a really interesting day on the women's side. I think there's a lot of very close 55, 60, 40 matches. This is one of them as well. I think it's not impossible for Samsonova to win this despite her lack of clay court prowess. She has held serve as well, so she's got to 1-1 at least. There's a lot of clashes that could go either way, and there's a lot of you know, for example, that Sabalenka one, you've got a matchup there or a head-to-head, which is 5-2 in favor of Anisimova, unbelievably. So, yeah, I see today's match defining Iga's tournament and maybe in some way her French Open or sorry, her year, and all sorts of ramifications I've thought about, permutations. If she loses today, you know, it'll be her earliest French Open exit, you know, in the last 6 years. It'll be, you know, Wim for set, you know, her fans will be desperate for him to go, and there'll be more questions that Iga will have running through her mind regarding that coaching relationship. You know, her ranking would probably drop even further. Grass court season, okay, she doesn't have a lot of points to defend, but there's not too many opportunities for glory for her on the grass, at least at this moment in her career. That would be a very unusual season if she does pull up some trees in that respect. So I think this is the match that, yeah, it's going to be even, because I listen, I thought it was going to be Paolini, it's going to be Svitolina as it turns out, but I was pretty confident that Iga would be able to beat Jasmine, and I feel similar about Svitolina. The semi-final could be Sabalenka, but there's no guarantees that Arena will be there. And if she gets to the semi-final, then that's not to say that she's satisfied with anything other than the French Open title, but suddenly it's got a bit more of a respectability, and those questions that I just highlighted are less prominent. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting, you know, an interesting match. That obviously Rybakina and Swiatek, but I mean for both players as well, because of, you know, obviously Rybakina has had her struggles for a while now, and this is a chance to, you know, get back on track. And for Swiatek, yeah, it's obviously she's going to be carrying a bit more pressure here, but you know, she's looked good so far. But it's going to be a match that's obviously going to have big consequences as well. I mean, for you know, potentially, you know, Zheng here or Sabalenka. So because they're all, yeah, because Swiatek's on the same side, right side of the draw. So
yeah, right. Everyone playing today is on the same side. Yeah. So Coco, I'm just thinking Coco's half is probably a little nicer. We've got Zheng Sabalenka or Zheng Sabalenka, Swiatek, Rybakina, and obviously Svitolina's in the quarterfinal. So they're all on the same half, whereas the other half is yeah, it's Coco's the standout figure and standout name. I mean, I was just mentioning, you know, who are the sort of favourites, and I mentioned that first three: Sabalenka, Goff, and Swiatek, and two of those three are on one half and one is on the other. Then in that next group, we've got, I would say, Zheng and Mirovan. Of course, Mirovan is on the Coco side, but we know that head-to-head and how well Coco loves to play Miro. I mean, I saw them play each other in Rome recently. So, yeah, it's not bad for Coco. It's not bad for Coco, that's for sure. But coming back to today and Zheng holding serve there for 2-1, that was a pretty comfortable hold. Her two service games have been pretty comfortable thus far. It's funny. When I'm watching Zheng, I don't think of somebody who's necessarily like, you know, like Iga in terms of movement on this surface, and yet her results, it's clay stroke hardcore in terms of her best results in her career. And maybe you put, given the fact that she won the Olympics, probably even put her clay results ahead of her hardcore results. I also remember Zheng, the breakout match for her was against Iga at Roland Garros in 22, I think it was, when she was the only person, I think, that year to take a set off Iga, and she was just unwell in the third set, and she didn't she managed to finish the match, but basically her physique and the physical scenario prevented her from really making that third set competitive. So yeah, and of course she beat Iga last year at the Olympics, also on clay, of course.
Yeah, I think with Zheng, she, you know, maybe she's not the best mover, but she can move pretty well in clay. But I think it's more just, you know, from her point of view, she has that little bit more time to sort of, you know, bring out the best in her own strokes. And just, I think sometimes on the hard court, she, against the better players, she gets a bit rushed, and whereas that doesn't happen on the clay. And then also, I think her forehand is just a bit more effective on the clay with the, you know, good shape on it. So yeah, it's she does well on both surfaces for different reasons, I think, and just as we go into this fourth game, 15 all.
But also the other thing that sort of springs to mind for me is that I interviewed Yu Yuan, her fellow Chinese player, and she was, playing on clay. And she said she never played on clay until she was 16, just because I guess of a lack of clay courts in China. So it's kind of interesting where I'm guessing most Chinese players are not necessarily exposed to the clay that often, that young. And yet, whenever it was Qinwen first played on clay, maybe she played on clay a bit younger than Yu Yuan, because as I say, 16 is for a professional tennis player, it's quite old not to have played on clay.
Yeah, well, I mean, here in Korea, well, at least in Seoul, where I've played tennis, they don't really have clay courts as such. I wouldn't call it clay, but it's something approximating clay, but it feels more like a sand court or like something like a dirt court. But maybe I've seen one clay court that looked like a proper clay court, but it's fairly few and far between. Pretty much all hard courts or artificial grass surfaces. Yeah.
I haven't really played on grass. I say really. I think as a kid, I think I might have played on something akin to grass. It was actually grass, but it was just pretty rough. But I'd love to now, just to see. I played on carpet indoors in Germany. I interviewed Michael Stich about 2 years ago. Yeah, it was just on the eve of Wimbledon, so it's almost exactly 2 years ago. And he called it. He said Carlos Alcaraz was going to win Wimbledon that year and avenge his loss at the French Open over Novak Djokovic. Anyway, but he said to me about how Germans often do well on grass because of this kind of indoor season where they play on carpet, which is probably the next closest surface to grass. So carpet's actually quite fun, of course, and used to be on the tour. But I think Federer particularly didn't like it that much. And I think maybe some injuries as well would get picked up. People would get maybe their feet stuck in the carpet or something and get some.
Yeah, they felt it was unsafe or it's also really fast. But I think they still had carpet on the Challenger Tour and stuff.
There was one, I think, until about a year ago. I know Damien went to one maybe at the end of 2023. So it might have been 2 years ago almost. But yeah, so that was the last one.
Right. Yeah, Damien would know. I think on the women's ITF circuit, there's like a carpet surface. And I remember just there was a tournament in Japan. I think they were playing on like an artificial sort of carpet thing. So yeah, but it's not common.
Indeed. Jake says he needs to catch up some sleep. Ghosty was asking about how's things in South Korea. You said pretty hot today, right?
Yeah, it's 29, already feeling like summer, and we're going to have a presidential election on Tuesday, which is great for me because I can't vote because I'm not a citizen, but like I get the day off as well. It's a national holiday where people do.
I thought you were going to say that when you said it's good for me. I thought, okay, here comes a holiday. Presidential election in Poland today apparently as well, and you talked about the day off for things where you're sort of not being a citizen. I remember when I lived in Chile 2017, they had a census, and it was actually quick on the heels of the previous census. I think it was like 1 year after the previous one because they'd messed up the one. I think they had one in 2016, but they messed up with the data. So they had to do it again in 2017 when I lived there. But you've got to stay home. You've got to be at home until they knock on your door. Because this was done in person. So a lot of censuses, I guess, are done, with documents or probably online nowadays. This was an in-person census. So you just got to stay home and wait for that knock on the door. And you can't leave until they've knocked on your door. So I had the knock on the door mid-afternoon, so could have been better, but could have been worse. Some funny questions about what I had in the kitchen and stuff, and the oven and stuff that I didn't think would be related to the census. But basically, just to establish that I was living on my own, I was a student and not a citizen. But I remember, I think there was, and then they put a sticker on your door, and that's like, I've been censored, and now not censored, censused, I guess, and you're allowed to leave. And yeah, that was Chile in 2017.
Wow. Yeah, never had the pleasure of going to that part of the world.
Nicholas Jarry land.
Yeah. I always like to go to South America. Be good to maybe go during the clay season. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't go to the tournament in Santiago. It would have been on while I was there, I guess, because I think I arrived about beginning of February. I remember the Aussie Open final was Federer Nadal, and I was just a few days away from flying to Chile. So I think I flew to Chile about 4 or 5 days after that final. I actually ran the half marathon in Seville that same day, so I missed the first set or two. It was kind of surprised that Federer won the first set because I thought Nadal would win, not necessarily comfortably, but would win okay. So I was just kind of surprised to see Federer come out the blocks as quickly as he did. And then once Nadal got the second set, it was like, okay, normality's resumed, because that head-to-head was only going in one direction for pretty much most of their careers until about 2017.
When was that?
2017, the Australian Open.
Australian Open, okay.
Andreeva and Schneider in the doubles have beaten, I think it's Garcia and Parry. So that is Garcia's doubles French Open career done. I know that she's not quite, left the sport. She said that she's going to be playing for a few more weeks. Maybe she just feels as though there's some grass court wins out there for her. Because I can't think of any other reason why you wouldn't want to retire at the French Open, being obviously a French national. Qinwen holds for 3-2.
Yeah, she's
rarely troubled on serve.
Looking pretty strong on serve so far, yeah. And Schneider, of course, went out unexpectedly.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think it was Damien was saying that he picked her to. Did you not pick her to make the semis or something?
I think he did, yeah. Yeah. Ghosty looks like he's just, discovered a cure for cancer here when he's saying, "Look, I told you Schneider and Andreeva were good." I think we know Ghosty. I think we're aware of the fact that they're decent. Coco, is she in the doubles? I don't know. I know Ayala is playing doubles with someone because I saw a list of players, and it was like these are players that should be playing in Birmingham next week, but they're still in Roland Garros for one reason or another. And I saw Ayala's name on that list, thinking, I wonder if she's going to pull out of Birmingham because she's in the doubles, I think.
I think she lost though.
Did she? Yesterday.
Yeah, in the second round, yeah, her and Zarazua lost to Danilovic and Popova.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe she will be fine for Birmingham.
Yes. Personally, I'm looking forward to seeing some grass.
Yeah, we've got different people on the channel have different views on that part of the season. It's my third favorite surface in terms of watching tennis.
Okay.
But it's short enough that it doesn't bother me. And I like tennis far too much. I see lots of people, for example, hating on the clay. And I'm like, yeah, maybe it's your third favorite surface for whatever reason. Maybe you play, for example, on a hard court, or you grew up with this particular surface, or you grew up watching Wimbledon, for example. I know a lot of British people are sort of skeptical about it. Or certainly when I was a kid growing up, it was always like, oh yeah, it's just for those Europeans, the clay. Whereas for me, I just like tennis too much to be too down on any of the surfaces. There's a lot of things I'm down on regarding tennis, but the surfaces is not one of them. And I have a preference for clay in some respects, but it's also because of the fact that where I live and, that clay season starting, European clay season, at least at the beginning of April, it's like, okay, here's summer, summer's here, Estoril, Portugal, Spain, Madrid, Barcelona, all those tournaments. And it's like, yeah, the sun is coming out, the days are getting longer, the clocks have changed. And, when it's that Asian swing, which I'm sure you like very much, but that's like, oh, okay. And the European indoor season, it's like, oh, Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a chance to see a different, you know, less so than the surface itself, but I guess it's a chance to see different styles come to the fore. So yeah, obviously more attacking play, and maybe some people don't like it because it's obviously more serve dominant and sort of maybe they prefer like having longer rallies, right? But I think it's just good
because Swiatek and Rybakina are just warming up and they're about to get underway. I'll be backstage throughout, Eddie, so I'm not going anywhere. You'll be able to see me throughout backstage. But yeah, I'll speak to you soon.
Okay, cheers. All right, guys. So that was a good shot there from Samsonova to hold the forehand cross court. And we're still on serve here. Zheng now to serve at 3-0. So what's going on elsewhere? Okay, obviously, yeah, Rybakina and Swiatek about to start. And on the men's side, we will have to wait for Shelton and Alcaraz. Okay, cheers, Ghosty. I think now maybe a bit of pressure here for Zheng because she's down love 15, now going on to second serve. And that was a good return there from Samsonova, so she gets to love 30, and this is going to be interesting now to see how Zheng can handle this. Definitely, you know, more pressure on her shoulders this year than last year. And there's Zhang's team there on the screen. I think that's another first serve that's gone out. So although Zheng is wanting it to be checked, oh, it looks in. Was that in? Oh, so that she's actually going to have to take the first serve again. I'm not too sure about that. Yeah, it was in, but then he's asked that, you know, she has to take it again, and she's going to go on to a second serve because she just hit that one into the net. But I wasn't sure about that decision to make her take it again. And now we've got 3 break points here. Yeah, it's like Ghosty says they just stole an ace from Zheng. Well, I sort of agree, because even if the call came that quickly, I just don't think it's quick enough for the player to react or to make a difference. That's going to be another second serve. So, I mean, that first serve, obviously, so important for Zheng. Oh, this is danger now for Zheng. It's a good backhand. Yeah. I mean, that was a big, nice backhand cross court that was just enough to draw the error from Samsonova. Her shot going just wide, and but you know, she had moments where she was under pressure against Mboko in that last match, Zheng, and I felt she handled that well. So let's see if she can come up with the goods here. It's going to be another second serve, though. Oh, that was, yeah, very good forehand up the line there from Samsonova. So she does break, and Zheng under pressure here as we head into the latter part of this first set with Samsonova up 4-3. And yeah, I think, yeah, probably from her point of view, I mean, taking the first set is going to be more important for her. And just looking at the score elsewhere, I mean, we've got Rybakina up 1-love and love 30 on the Swiatek serve, so perhaps a little opportunity for her to go up an early break. Now, that's going to make this very interesting on that side of the draw, because if Rybakina was actually able to get a win against Swiatek, and Gosie's asking, do you trust Zheng's mentality? Well, more so these days. Basically since winning the Olympics in the latter half of last year. I mean, obviously, I don't think she started off particularly well this season, but I think, you know, she come into this tournament particularly, you know, in pretty good, strong form coming into it. So, semi-final in Rome, just losing out to Coco in the semi-finals, but I think she's got a chance to come back here, yeah. Oh, but that was an error there on the backhand side, which wasn't particularly good. You know, that was too easy from Zheng's perspective. Zheng seems to be blaming her racket, so she's just changed the racket there. It's a decent return there on the backhand side from Zheng. So Samsonova made the error into the net. So perhaps a little chance here now. Let's see what Zheng can do to get back on serve. I think, yeah, but definitely on this side of the draw. Obviously, we've got Svitolina going through the quarters, but also, oh yeah, that was Samsonova dragging that wide. So chance here, break point for Zheng. Yeah, on this side of the draw, I mean, we've got this half, Zabalenka, Zheng, and obviously Rybakina and Swiatek. Still feel like it's an interesting one in terms of there's still a chance, I would say, maybe more than there has been for the unexpected, let's say, underdogs to get through. And Samsonova to play Sabalenka. But who knows? I mean, there could be an upset there. I wouldn't be that surprised, to be honest. And then, obviously, we've got Samsonova against Zheng here, but it looks like Zheng's coming back. But Rybakina and Swiatek, I mean, if there was going to be a time when Swiatek could be beaten, I would say it would be now. I mean, she's obviously not been performing as well as she has in previous years. And yeah, we can see that Rybakina is up an early break against Swiatek, 2-love and 30-all on the Rybakina serve right now. So maybe before, a lot of people were thinking, you know, we're going to have Sabalenka against Swiatek in one of the semifinals. We could end up with, you know, something completely different. Could be Zheng against Svitolina. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, Zheng seems to be complaining about something in the crowd or something, but yeah, she's getting distracted easily. I always think tennis players are so funny sometimes with the way they, you know, any little movement, some of them complain so much about. Oh, that was a really nice forehand there. Forehand winner up the line. And I mean, I think that's a shot that shines so well on this surface. And maybe these little annoyances, though, from Zheng's point of view, are sort of firing her up a bit more. And yeah, I mean, Svitolina, that was, Paolini had a match point, I think, in the second set. So I wasn't watching that one, just following the score. And then for her to come back and Svitolina to win that final set 6-1. I mean, what a turnaround. And, you know, that's tennis. We try and follow tennis so much. And if you do follow tennis, yeah, you can, you know, even if you think you know so much about it, you try and make predictions, and certain results, you know, they always surprise you, and it can happen in the slams. Oh, double fault there from Zheng. So that's not exactly a great way to follow up some of the good play that she started off with this set with, or sorry, this game, I should say. Yeah, so we're backing it up 3-love in that other match against Swiatek. So that's potentially going to just change the outlook on this tournament and what's going to happen. Wow, so Samsonova does have a break point here at 30-40 on the Zheng serve, and frankly, you know, those last 2 points were not well played from Zheng's point of view. After starting this game so well, she'd be looking to get a first serve in, and that was a good first serve that Samsonova couldn't return in. So big come on there from Zheng. She knew how important that was. We're talking about Zheng's mentality. I think maybe last year, when she was under, you know, under pressure, you might have seen her crumble a bit more easily. Particularly if she was playing a player like Mboko. And I felt like the way she handled Mboko in that last match was impressive, and I felt, you know, showed to me that she has progressed. Oh, back to juice here. Key moments here in this match then. I mean, it has been a tight match. I mean, we look at the total points so far. It's actually Samsonova with 30 to Zheng's 29. Obviously very close. Wow. Yeah, decent return there from Samsonova. And yeah, it feels like Zheng's going to have to find, she could do with another first serve again. And Zheng's first serve percentage is not particularly good. Just wide that first serve again. Yeah, that was a nice flutter backhand up the line that was just powerful enough as well to, you know, to get an error from Samsonova into the net. And so this is what I mean. It's going to be how she can respond in these situations. But she did well there. Yeah, so far the first serve percentage for Zheng is only 39%, but she's won 75% of her first serve points. So, you know, it's very key for her to get those first serves in. She's so good behind it, and obviously she'll be able to get aces when she can. But yeah, she's making life more difficult for herself with those percentages. Yeah, that was again in that rally, Samsonova was on top for a while, and eventually she does win the point. And yes, Zheng still struggling to find those first serves, down at 38% on the first serves now. And Rybakina is now up a double break against Swiatek in the other match there. Potentially about to go up 5-love on her serve. That would be something. Oh, and that forehand goes long, so Samsonova breaks again. And it's Samsonova who will break serve for the first set at 5-4 now. Well, potentially 2 upsets on the card, as you know, that's what it looks like at the moment. Still in these first sets, but incredibly, Rybakina potentially going to make it 5-love. She's actually got 40-love. Yeah, and she's made it 5-love, so incredible there. It looks like Swiatek's having a nightmare, because 22 points won by Rybakina to just 8 for Swiatek. This match here between Samsonova and Zheng has certainly been closer. But it feels like it's been a pretty good match from... It feels like it's been a pretty good match from the perspective of Samsonova, but it's also feel like Zheng has not been quite at her best in terms of... She started off pretty well behind serve and then slipped away. So is she going to be able to come back here? Let's see. Yeah, so I mean, Zheng maybe just feeling a little bit of pressure. Obviously, the distractions that she's been getting distracted by various things around her in the court, and that was a really nice drop shot there from Samsonova, and we haven't seen that really at all this match so far. That was perfectly executed. I mean, Zheng just rooted to the spot. No way she was going to make it. And honestly, if I'm Samsonova, I'm going to think about doing that a bit more. I'm not sure about Zhang's ability in the forecourt so much. I don't know if she's... I don't think it's her strongest part of her game. And but yeah, I mean, Zheng didn't even have to come forward there because Samsonova's just executed that so well. And oh my goodness, so I'm just looking at the score in the other match. Potentially going to be a bagel for Rybakina. And so that deep forehand there from Zheng is just enough to force the error from Samsonova. So 15-all. We'll see if Zheng can get back in here. I wouldn't bet against her breaking again. And it's going to feel like maybe an opportunity missed if... Yeah, good play there from Samsonova going back in behind Zheng on that forehand. Yeah, it's going to feel like an opportunity missed if Zheng does not get through this match. Especially if Świątek goes out. Oh, Samsonova did really well there. I mean, Zheng, I guess, did well to sort of get the slice back on the defense, but it just sort of took Samsonova a little bit by surprise and forced that error from her into the net. So maybe a bit of luck there from Zheng, but I guess you sort of make your luck sometimes. It was good for her to get to the ball. It's going to be a second serve. Now this is key here, of course. It's going to be either a set point or a break point that comes next. Meanwhile, set point for Rybakina. Oh, and it's Samsonova who drags her for a backhand cross-court wide. So Zheng will have a break-back point, obviously a crucial point in the set. Haven't had confirmation of Rybakina winning that set yet. But I can see that she does have a set point. Yeah, what has happened to Iga? I mean, sure. I mean, I feel like this has got to be more mental than anything, which is. Oh, and she was going for the drop shot there, Samsonova, and it was just short, and it went into the net. So take back there for Zheng, and wow. Yeah, I think Zheng actually has been pretty good defending out the corners when she's stretched here in this tournament and on this surface, and that's what helped to get through that particular game. And that was a good first serve there from Zheng, and finally she hasn't had too many this set. Well, it looks like Świątek might actually get a game. She's got a game point. Let's see if she can do that. Avoid the bagel. Yeah, decent serve again. That Samsonova's return goes out. So Zheng might actually be able to dig in here and perhaps take this first set. You know, you're at the highest level. In these big tournaments, you're going to have your moments as a better player, even where you will be tested. And it's about how you respond to those moments that, you know, the best players are able to handle it and find their way through. Oh, that was the running forehand up the line there from Zheng. That was almost fantastic, but it goes out. Nice idea, but yeah, just going wide into the tram line. So Is Swiatek going to actually take a game here? So yeah, 30 all here. Zheng under a little bit of pressure again. Wow, okay, that was a long rally there, and I think it was a bit tentative from Zhang, but just playing carefully and managed to finally come out on top. And that was with the forehand down the middle from Zhang, which came pretty deep. And Liudmila was sort of out of position a bit on the back foot, and then her shot went into the net. So it's a 19-shot rally there, you can see on the screen. It's a big first serve, but it is returned. Oh, no. Samsonova did well to get the ball up in with the defensive lob, but Zheng hits the overhead into the court and gets that game, and a big roar from her as she takes that game. So 1 game away from the first set for Zheng. Otherwise, we go into the tiebreak. And Swiatek has won the game in the other match in Philippe Chatrier, but Rybakina is now serving for the first set at 5-1, 15 love. So it looks like Rybakina is going to take that first set. Let's see if can Swiatek respond. It looks like it's been extremely one-sided. And you've got to say, I mean, surely, obviously Swiatek's playing badly, but surely she can maybe try and find a better level in the second set. Yeah, tough moments here for Zheng. Zheng, who is the 8th seed and the last player to win a tournament on these courts, in that she won the Olympics, Paris Olympics last year on the courts of Roland Garros. And a little bit more of a spring in her step here from Zheng, I would say. Obviously sensing an opportunity. Yeah, she's been through some tough moments here, Zheng, but maybe she's come through it and maybe starting to find our best. Oh, that was a great serve from Samsonova, but although Zheng managed to get a racket on it, Samsonova was able to come forward and finish it off with a winner. Possibly, I mean, with the way the set's gone, it maybe deserved to go to a tiebreaker in terms of how close the match has been. Yeah, another good serve. And it's set point there for Rybakina at 40-30. Samsonova up 30-15. Oh, another great serve into the same spot wide, but it is returned by Zheng. She's able to stay in this rally. It's going to be pretty impressive. Wow. Yeah, Zheng's defense has been really good, and that was another perfect illustration of how good it can be. And it's surprising that she was able to turn around that point after such a good first serve from Samsonova. That was a serve on the ad side out wide. Zheng manages to get it back. She was on the back foot, but was able to make balls, and eventually comes out on top. And oh, but that's a good 1-2 there from Samsonova. Going back in behind Zheng this time, and she's good at that. Well, another good serve, and it's returned out by Zheng. So we go into a tiebreak. Yeah, Rybakina has taken that first set 6-1 on Philippe Chatrier against Iga Świątek. Yeah, looks to have been a completely one-sided match so far there, but let's see if, you know, the former champion Świątek can actually turn it around. It doesn't look great so far, but probably can't get much worse from her point of view. And Zheng starts off serving this tiebreak. That was a good first serve. Certainly you want to start off a tiebreak well like that. I mean, she hasn't had a great first serve percentage in this match. It's now up to 43% though, which was better than it was before. It was down at 38%. So yeah, it was, on the other hand, the Samsonova has actually got a first serve percentage of 83%, 35 serves made out of 42. Yeah, Zheng again, you know, doing well on defense. That sort of pressuring Samsonova to go for a bit more, and then she makes that error on the backhand side into the net. So yes, in fact, perhaps the Zheng defense making the difference here in this match in terms of what might get her over the line. Zheng's complaining about something again there as Samsonova takes that point. Zheng thought the serve might have been out, but I think she was looking at the wrong mark. So Zheng will serve at 2-1. So Zheng She does find the first serve. But we get into the rally here. Backhand to backhand exchanges. Oh, Zheng decides to go big up the line. Samsonova makes it, but it puts her on top here. And that was a poorly executed drop shot there from Zheng. Again, we've not seen that much at all in this match, but you know, from Zheng we haven't seen it at all, and that looked a little bit desperate there. I don't know what she was doing really. Yeah, so so Zheng did, you know, she threw the ball up and retook the serve, and the second serve has gone out, so it was a double fault. The umpire confirming it, coming down to check the mark, and so the mini break, after being up a mini break herself, goes to Samsonova. And perhaps Zheng is a little agitated. And that's actually the 5th double fault of the match for Zheng. And that's that great serve out wide from Samsonova. I mean, another serve. First serve working so well for her. So Samsonova serves 4-2 after the wee short break. And it was a not bad return there from Zheng, deep down the middle, and it draws the error from Samsonova. So we're back. Zheng gets that little mini break back. Good morning, Ashley. Welcome to the stream. And that was a first serve found from Zheng, but it was well returned from Samsonova. Oh, I thought Samsonova's forehand was just landed in, but it went just wide. And that would have been quite something at this crucial point in this set, but still 4-all, and Zheng about to serve. Oh dear, disaster again for Świątek at the start of the second set as Rybakina takes the first break in the first game. Yeah, the backhand to backhand exchange between Samsonova and Zheng, with Zheng coming out on top. So it's 5-4. Zheng now. Samsonova now to serve. Really is a tight one here now. You can see there are 45 points each for each of these players. Yeah, that was nice from Samsonova. Five all. So yeah, again, we'll get either a set point for Samsonova next or a set point for Zheng. Samsonova now serving, so and it first serve goes wide. She hasn't missed many in this match. Let's see if Zheng will pounce on the second serve. Oh, that's a great forehand up the line from Zheng, dipping into that far corner, and she brings up a set point, which will be on her serve. So great opportunity for her, and that was her waiting for her opportunity there. And then that's that forehand, which, you know, will be key for her if she's going to win this match and or, you know, even the tournament. So bringing it out just when she needs it. Let's see if she can actually serve out here. She hits that first serve into net, so will be a second serve. Oh, and Zheng does take it. It was a decent return there from Samsonova, but the backhand up the line from Zheng forced the error from Samsonova into the net. So hard fought set from Zheng, but you have to say, you know, there really wasn't much in it, but maybe she got a little bit of luck, but I think she's done well to sort of come through those tough moments. She had tough moments against Mboko and managed to handle it well. So, I mean, I think, you know, as Zheng of the past, maybe a year ago, she doesn't come through that, but handled it really well, I think.
Hey, Eddie, how's it going?
Yeah, good. Just a very tight first set there, and Zheng with some gutsy play there to get over the line.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've got all my eyes on, in terms of the match itself, on Rybakina and Swiatek, and I think this could, whatever happens in your match, I'm afraid the headlines will probably be coming from Philippe Chatrier. But I did see how the scoreboard was swinging in that set with Samsonova. She had at least one break advantage, didn't she? Did she get a second a break as well at one point?
Yeah. So yeah,
she breaks serve, she's up a break, then it's back on serve, then she breaks again. Did she serve for the first set?
Yeah, she was serving for the first set, and Zheng broke back, and so, and then eventually it went to the tie break. So yeah, it was a really tight one, but I think Zheng's just a little bit of quality here and there that was just enough to, because there were some moments as well where Samsonova was really on top in some of those points, and then somehow Zheng was defending so well and managed to come out on top. And yeah, and obviously in these key moments she was able to break back and obviously win this tiebreak. And you know, I think you went with, you know, the big players, the better players. It's just how they handle these specific moments, and I think that was just enough.
she was 4-2 down, wasn't she, as well in that tie break? So you talk about specific moments, winning the sort of 3 or 4 points in a row that she won after that. You know, because I saw that she was 4-2 down at the change of ends, and I thought, okay, this is interesting. But then it suddenly, before I knew it, was 5-4, and it's like, oh, okay, that's entirely changed the dynamic of the tiebreak. And in the end, she got over the line. Of course, as I said, all the headlines right now coming from Philippe Chatrier. I think even if Iga comes back and wins this, it'll be a huge headline in itself. But the big difference here is, well, there's a couple of huge significances and stats, basically. Rybakina in that first set was 86% on first serve winnings. So she's winning 86% of her first serves. And Iga, I think, was 45. And a part of that dynamic as well is the fact that Rybakina was just killing her serve. And it almost didn't matter if it was first or second. And in fact, Iga won 43%, so a very similar percentage on the first. And the second set, it started very similar fashion, with Rybakina really attacking that serve. So that's the story from Philippe Chatrier. If you need a break at all, Eric, where you are, you know, if you need a 2-minute break or whatever, just send me a message in the private chat. I'll be keeping an eye on that throughout, and I'll see it. Because we could, or if you want yourself, you can always just press the button yourself. I don't know if you see that thing that says while there's a break in play at the top. The options. If you go down the videos, it's the first video.
All right, I can't see that because I'm not in.
Oh, okay. You're in as a guest. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So just write me a message in the private chat if you want a 1.5 minute break. I can just press that button and give you that opportunity whenever you want it. All right. So there could be a change of ends or the end of this set if it goes 3.
All right.
Cool.
Well, your match might be, I think the Rybakina match might be over before this one, even though this one started first. Just looking at the way that one's going. So Rybakina up a break 2-1 in that second set after taking the first 6-1. Zheng coming through a tough first set, but this is what, you know, could change her tournament. I mean, I would have to say, if Świątek does fail to turn this around and does go out, that's got to be good news for Zheng from her perspective. She will likely go through to play Sabalenka in the next round, and you might say, well, you know, that's more of a danger for her, but you know, Zheng has that win over her in Rome in similar conditions. She got a straight sets victory. And I think, you know, if she's gonna, you know, her game matches up best against Sabalenka on this surface. So, you know, her digging in to get through this one might just be, you know, what takes her to the final. And of course, still a long way to go. This, if she gets through here, it's just through to the quarterfinals, but although, of course, you know, I mean, even if Zheng was to make the final, you know, you potentially got Coco Gauff there, in which case, you know, you'd expect Coco to be clear favorite there. But yeah, still a long way to go on either side of the draw. So I wonder now if Zheng will maybe step up a bit, or is this going to continue to be as close as it has been? We've already got a love 30 though in the Samsonova serve. As I said before, like in the first set, there's only 42% first serves in from Zheng. So there's, you know, perhaps room for her to increase that a bit somewhat. We might even see a you know, a bit of a dip as well from Samsonova, but let's see. Obviously, it was tough for her to lose that first set. She had a lot of opportunities, and yeah, and that's now love 40. And Świątek, though, in that other match, does have a breakback point. that serve. Going out, so Samsonova on a second serve to stay in this game. Oh, she does nicely going back in behind with that forehand, so she gets saves one of the break points. But Rybakina does also save break point against Świątek, so it's at deuce. Yeah, it's always impresses me how Samsonova's, sort of on that forehand, from the middle of the court, she sort of takes it early and able to find that angle so well. Doing it so well there with that forehand. Can she hold on here? She gets a serve in. Oh, and it's the return from Zheng into the net. So 3 break points saved from Samsonova. And that's going to be very key for her in terms of obviously losing that tight set. You don't want to go down an early break in the next set. But perhaps she can save herself here and hold here in this first game. It looks like Świątek has broken back. So it's at 2-all early in that second set on Chatrier. So advantage to Zheng though. That serve, first serve going out this time. She's been so good with those on the ad side out wide. She's missing a few now, Samsonova. Oh, she's going big on that return, and unfortunately for Zheng, going long. So we're back to deuce. She's got to be annoyed about that. So it looks like Świątek anyway in the other match is actually fighting hard to come back. So let's see if she's able to do that. It's going to be another second serve from Samsonova. So she had a big first serve percentage in the first set, but that's starting to come down a bit. Yeah, that's another break point. Now there's a 5th break point for Zheng. Oh, Samsonova did find a good first serve, but she's adopted the drop shot. Oh, Zheng did make it there, but Samsonova was there to finish it off with the volley. So well executed there. Brave from Samsonova. Oh, nice 1-2 there from Samsonova. And that was well done from Samsonova. Finally, some really nice play there to hold. And how key could that be in this match? Yeah, so she does hold, and obviously from love 40 down, that's a great hold. Just going to nip away for a second.
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered, whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Ooh, so now it's Zheng under a little bit of pressure. Love 30 now in her first service game of this second set. And looks like on Philip Chatry, that other match for Rybakina and Swiatek is more competitive now. Oh, there we go. And that's a beautifully executed backhand drop shot from Samsonova. Zheng was never going to get there. So it was love 40 on Samsonova's serve in the first game of this set. It's going to be love 40 now on the Zheng serve. So can Zheng actually hold on here? She could do with finding some of those first serves that eluded her so much in the first set. She does get a first serve. But aggression there from Samsonova with the forehand, and she takes that game. So she gets the first break of this set, and she leads to love and will serve now. So, wow. What a turnaround, you'd have to say, obviously, with Samsonova going down love 40 in that first game and then eventually able to hold on and then breaking Zheng so quickly in the next game. Well, such tennis can be quite interesting like that at times. And let's see if Samsonova can hold on. Seeming like a long game at 2-all in the second set between Rybakina and Swiatek on the Swiatek serve. Yeah, I think some of the players are a little bit get distracted by the fans coming in. Although I think they're allowed to now come in during the even outside of the break time. So that is something that's changed within tennis. It's happening at more tournaments that they allow people to come in, at least at certain parts of the stadium, to come in even during play. So yeah, makes things a bit easier from the fans' perspective. Might be a bit annoying for the players, but you know, I think you just gotta you gotta get on with it, don't you? That return not good from Zheng. So we're at 30-15. And it looks like a break point there for Rybakina with her advantage. That game's been going on for a while. There's a stat there that Samsonova's hit 6 winners in this set. We're not long into it. Zheng hasn't hit any. Yeah, Świątek saving that break point. Let's see, Samsonova. She does get that serve in. That's another great forehand there again. Yeah, the off forehand wide. Another winner. I guess that's 7 winners now for Samsonova. And she has 2 game points. Oh, the backhand from Zheng hitting the net, but just, and she gets the net cord and eventually comes out on top in that rally, Zheng. So it's 40-30, and it looks like Świątek has survived. Looked like she was going to get broken there. That was a long game, but Świątek surviving and perhaps working her way into the match. Up 3-2 in that second set now. And that was a decent first serve from Świątek, although Zheng does return it, but it's not enough to prevent Samsonova from hitting that winner. So really, yeah, it's good from Samsonova's point of view. Up 3-love now in this second set after 15 minutes. The first set finished in a tiebreak, 81 minutes long. This second set could be over much sooner. But Zheng's going to have to find a way to get back in. Of course, it's only just the one break. Of course, after this women's tennis, after this match, we will have on this court on Suzanne Lenglen the match between Sabalenka and Anisimova. Of course, the winner of this match will go on to play the winner of that match. You're probably still favouring Zheng to be able to get through this match, but it's looking less likely at the moment than it was at the end of that first set. But we'll see. And Sabalenka against Anisimova, that's an interesting one. And then after the Rybakina and Świątek match, we'll have the match between Shelton and Alcaraz. I think probably expecting Alcaraz to get through that one, but Shelton, if he comes and brings his best tennis, perhaps he can make things interesting. Tough moments here for Zheng. Oh, Samsonova again going for the drop shot. I mean, she's doing that more and more, and it's working well. Yeah, very effective. I mean, so many of them as well. It's just been impossible for Zheng to even make it. So really nicely timed and Samsonova's got Zheng running around here, and it's love 30 now again. So potentially on for a double break for Samsonova. Meanwhile, 3 break points there for Świątek against Rybakina, so she is coming back. You know, last year's champion. It's going to be a second serve again from Zheng. Yeah, that first serve percentage still not brilliant. Oh, big return there from Samsonova, but just dragging it wide. It's perhaps an opportunity missed, and yeah, 15-30, so yeah, good serve down the tee from Zheng, finally finding another first serve and brings it to 30 all. Really important. Oh, and another good first serve, an ace this time. So this could be a really good hold here from Zheng. That takes her to 4 aces in the match. First serve percentage creeping up. Yeah, in fact, actually, it's at 60% now, the first serve percentage for Zheng, so better than the first set for sure. And she does hold on. Yeah, that was another racket there. Just our coach was putting the grip tape on. And I guess it's, I don't know if another slightly different configuration of racket, but just been given to Zheng there. Yeah, so it was a good hold there from Zheng so she keeps just 1 break in it, and perhaps now a chance to break back here. Yeah, that was a very nice return there. That was just a forehand dipping deep just behind the baseline from Zheng, and that gets her up to love 15. And Świątek up a break at 4-2 now, 30 love on her serve. So she's actually, after a horrendous start in that first set, which was just totally one-sided, is coming back. So that could have big implications, of course. for the outcome of this event. But yeah, still a long way to go there. Yeah, that was the backhand to backhand exchange there, and then Zheng's got backhand going into the net, and that was a bit too easy, too easily given away from her, and she looks angry and makes an angry gesture towards her box. Well, yeah, Zheng upping the pace on the ball there. Maybe a bit of anger going into her shots, but that final backhand from her, just enough pace that Samsonova is unable to get it over the net. So 30-all here. But that was a decent serve out wide that Zheng cannot return in. And Samsonova has a game point. Yeah, good hold again from Samsonova, 4-1 there. So keeping that break advantage. Yeah, just one game away from taking that second set now, Świątek, leading 5-2. Seems like I see John tweeting about a Rybakina smash. I'm assuming that she missed. And it seemed to have been the turnaround point in that match. If we look at the winners profile there from Samsonova in this match, 20 winners she's held, 20 winners she's hit, 15 of which have been on that forehand side. That's not surprising. She's hit a lot of them today, and so Samsonova to receive here, and yeah, that was a poor error again there from Zheng, dragging it wide. So starts off at love 15. Yeah, so just rushed a bit there with that return down the middle, but yeah. And it draws a forehand error from Zheng. So love 30 now. And this set has been a total totally different. I mean, 23 points to 13 in this second set for Samsonova. And yeah, I mean, it was very tight that first set. But the Zheng with another ace there, coming at a good time for her. Ace out wide. So 15-30. I think it was at 15-30 in the last set as well. So, or last game, I should say, for Zheng on her serve. Let's see if she can. It has to be a second serve. Oh, it goes out, and it's a double fault. So 2 break points for Samsonova, and she's going to have a chance to serve for the second set if she does take it. Zheng with 6 double faults in the match so far. Not great. And Zheng definitely looking second best at the moment. Another first serve missed. Wonder what's going through her mind right now. Samsonova looks like she's got to. Oh, it's another double fault. 2 doubles in a row from Zheng, and I mean, you remember at the start of this set, she had 3 break points in the first game on Samsonova's serve, and somehow Samsonova survived that, and then quickly broke Zheng, and then from since then, it's just been, you know, Zheng has been second best, and here we have Liudmila Samsonova serving for the second set. And yeah, Świątek also serving for the second set in the other match. Zheng 21 unforced errors in this match to 11 winners. But for Zheng in the second set, 7 unforced errors to 3 winners, whereas it's 11 unforced errors for Samsonova to 10 winners. So much better ratio for Samsonova in this set. So it was a decent return there from Zheng to bring it up 15-30, eventually finishing off with a lovely forehand winner into the corner. So Zheng still fighting here, trying to stay in this second set. Oh, it's a decent angle on the return there, just inside that sideline. Hello, John.
Hey, Eddie. Are you going to a third set as well?
Looks like it, but actually, no, Zheng has 2 breakback points here, so at 15-40.
Yeah,
so,
double break that she's got to get back though, right? So
yeah.
So yeah, of course, as I said to you, I mean, plenty of drama in your match as well, and on any other day, I think it would be getting all the headlines. But Rybakina had a smash on top of the net to when she was break point. She was up a set and a break, as you're probably aware, and I think she was facing break point, but was just all over this particular point, and basically not 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, she wins it. And the final smash it wasn't difficult. She was about a meter away from the net. I don't even know how she managed to put it into the net. She gets broken and her confidence is gone. The returns of serve that she was hitting before that were just, killing Iga, now they're going in the net, now they're going long. During rallies, she's looking tentative. She's spraying forehands wide and long, and unforced errors are coming off her racket left, right, and center. And Iga's feeding off that. And yeah, we're now going into a third set. By the way, I see that Samsonova saved those 2 break points.
Yeah. That was really nicely done as well, with the forehand winners working out well for her from the middle of the court. Yeah, Zheng's been just poor in this second set. I mean, she could have broken so early in the first game, Zheng. She had 3 break points from love 40. Didn't happen. And since then, it's just all Samsonova, really.
Yeah.
So, set point now. And yeah, so I mean, I guess Swiatek was much better in that second set then.
Yeah, she was, but there's always sort of 2 parts to the story. And I don't know, in a way, yes, Rybakina was returning serve so well in that first serve, but you couldn't help but think those first and second serves were very attackable. Again, conversely, looking at the second set, yes, Iga's playing a bit better. She's getting good shape on that forehand, as we know she can. But the confidence from Rybakina has just gone after that smash. She then had Swiatek did have a 10-minute hold as well shortly after that. And so those 2 psychological blows for Rybakina at around about 2-1 and then 3-2 were just too much. And yeah, now she's just got to reset. Neither player have gone off court, so we are going to get it underway with that third set. And looks like you're going to get a third set as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, we are going to get a third set. And yeah, just it's completely different from that first set. So Zhang's really going to have to sort it out here. I mean, she's going to have to find another level. It hasn't been good.
Right. It feels like, yeah, both matches have just dramatically changed directions. And now it feels like the momentum is very much against Zheng and very much here, obviously, against Rybakina.
Yeah, Zhang's taking a break now, going off court.
Is she? Okay. I'll talk to you about what's going on with Rybakina and Swiatek, then we'll sort of pair up that way. And when the third set gets underway, I'll leave you. But for now, we've got Rybakina serving, and it's Swiatek winning the first point, love 15, with an excellent backhand cross court. She's feeling very, very, very good right now. And she's feeding off the negativity, I guess, from the other side of the court.
Mm-hmm.
A break of serve here, and yeah, I don't know.
The first set, though, was it? I mean,
could have been a bagel. Could have been a bagel.
It could have been a bagel, yeah. But was it obviously an element of Swiatek, like nerves, or nerves? Is it? I mean,
for sure, those demons of the clay court season thus far, and maybe even her last 12 months, but particularly the clay court season for Iga, just where we thought that she would, finally turn her year around, if you like, but it just didn't happen in Stuttgart, nor Madrid, nor Rome. And so she goes down 2-love. She has a break point at 2-love, the only break point she garnered in that first set. And Rybakina, gets an unreturned serve and then holds for 3-love. And so at that point, those demons that have been bugging her throughout this clay court season were apparent. And of course, with every unbelievable return from Rybakina, it was just sapping away at any confidence that Swiatek might have had. Conversely, the confidence has just been sapped away from Rybakina from the moment that smash went into the net and she gets broken back, because that was, remember, to break back at the beginning of the second set. Rybakina holds there and she's consolidated her break. And yeah, it's a very different match. By the way, we're at 40-15 now. So this will be a nice hold for Rybakina if she can get it. That was also an interesting thing. Rybakina was just, so I remember the match beginning and she was up 40-15 on her serve. She holds to 15. I think she breaks Swiatek either to love or to 15. It was a very quick break. And she has a moment of doubt at 2-love, Rybakina, at the beginning of the match. But from that hold onwards, it was just one-way traffic, and it was one-way traffic all the way until that smash on top of the net, which I know I've mentioned 3 or 4 times, but you've got to see it to believe it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, Rybakina is just held there, so that's going to be perhaps key, and perhaps she can create a bit of pressure again for Świątek.
Yeah, right. She's just had to stem the tide, which she has done by holding there. You know, it was just one break of serve in the end that was decisive in that second set in terms of it being 6-3 with one break. But it felt like the set was done from the minute Iga broke, even though, you know, Arena, it was only just one break for Elena, but it didn't feel like the set was ever in doubt, really, after that. Because there was the second psychological blow. It wasn't as big as the smash on top of the net, but the psychological blow of Iga holding when she had a 10-minute hold to then go up 3-2. Yeah, and Iga was double faulting quite a bit in that game. Still, there was Iga, of course, because she was feeling pressure on that second serve. She was going big on it so often, and I actually felt, and I was saying it during commentary, I was like, you know what, just you know, contrary to what we've seen for the rest of the match, if you're just putting you know, if you're rolling in your serves, they're getting killed. I think now, after all these double faults, it's time to just roll a couple in, or just make sure you get your first or second serve in. And actually, in the end, it drew errors from Rybakina, and she holds, and then 3-2, and off she goes. Anyway, the players where you are on Susan Longland.
Still a long break here. Zheng's still off court, so they're just showing random people in the crowd now, and they're waving at the cameras.
Infosec, by the way, must be feeling a bit more job secure. Eager.
Yeah.
Yeah. She goes out in round 4, and I think it's a headline that probably comes up probably a week after the French Open sort of thing. You know, it'll be like, oh, Infosec and Iga have parted ways. But now, if she goes on to win this match, I think he's probably safe for a bit longer.
Yeah, still give her a great chance of going on to win the tournament.
If she wins this, for sure.
Yeah.
And it'll be that smash. That'll, you know, we talked about the Naomi Osaka match last year, obviously the match point or match points.
Yeah.
1 or 2 Naomi last year. She had at least 1 on the turn, albeit, and Naomi did serve for the match, but I think she went love 40 down and went down pretty quickly. But that was those minutes, if you like, in that match that won Iga Świątek the French Open. And this year, if she does go on to lift the title, it'll be that smash from Rybakina that we'll be looking at.
Yeah, well, so I mean, like, yeah, talking about that last year, she had that nervous energy from her again, but she still managed to ride it and come through it on top in that match. So this might be another, I don't know, she might this just might be the one match that she has a poor start in, but then she turns this around, then she might have a great remainder of the tournament. And Zheng's now back on court here.
I don't think Svitolina will pose as many problems as Ostapenko potentially would have done, of course, but also Rybakina has today. So
yeah,
a lot will depend on who she faces in the semi and what kind of shape that player is in. You know, it could be Zheng, could be Samsonova, could be Sabalenka, could be Anisimova. One of those 4, I think, would be lying in wait in the semis, all posing slightly different problems for Iga. But yeah, this is the one. I've been bigging it up for the last 48 hours, and this is the match that's going to define not just Iga's tournament, but possibly even her year. Anyway, 30 all here on this Świątek serve. She raced into a 30-love lead, and a couple of nice backhands from Rybakina. And this has a different complexion. I think you've got a third set underway, right? So I'm going to let you.
Yeah, but it is underway between Zheng and Samsonova. 15-love. Zheng serving. That was a decent serve that Samsonova returns out. So, yeah, it'll be key, I think, for Zheng to get off to a good start in this final set. And, you know, perhaps serving first is maybe to be to her benefit especially if she can actually, serve well in this set. Yeah, it looks like Swiatek 40-30 there, though. Maybe she's going to hold. Perhaps this third set between Rebecca and Swiatek will be another pretty competitive one. 30-15 here for Zheng, though. Yeah, I think even if Zheng does come through this particular match, I mean, she just hits another decent serve there to bring it to 40-15. She's going to be asking questions about that second, that second set that just sort of got away from her so quickly. Going forward, it doesn't particularly bode well when, she potentially has to face Sabalenka in the next round. So, yeah, I mean, she's gonna, if she does play Sabalenka, she's gonna have to probably not have any of those kind of dips. Oh, it was a decent return there from Samsonova, though, brings it back to 40-30. Swiatek does hold, so yeah, still on serve in that first set, but it's 30-love when they're back in a serve, so really interesting to see how that turns out. So it'll be a second serve for Zheng on her game point at 40-30. Oh, that was just makes that second serve, and it was returned by Samsonova, and then the forehand from Zheng just going over the net, and it was a fairly short ball, and Samsonova was not able to keep that one in. So just getting over the line there in that first game, Zheng, but yeah, maybe takes a little bit of the pressure off her. Yeah, still overall in the match, though, not a great first serve percentage from Zheng. 45% first serve in set one. It was a mere 42%. Set two went up to 53%. I mean, 50% so far. We've just had one game in this third set, but yeah, she's want to keep that. I mean, over 50%, but a bit closer to 60%, I think. Because when she does get the first serves in, she wins a lot of points. 67% of the points in this match so far. In the first set, it was 74% of her points on first serve won. So Samsonova winning the first point of her service game, 15-love, and perhaps we'll maybe see a return to that first set, which was obviously very close in terms of level of the two players. A good backhand. Oh, so Zheng going there for the stretch backhand up the line there, and it did dip down. It was a nice idea, but I think it was just wide. Umpire just comes down to check it and confirms, yeah, it was out. yeah, just you can see there's a little bit of a gap between the ball mark and the line there. It was a nice idea from Zheng, and that's, yeah, obviously disappointing from her point of view to see it go wide, but like the idea. So 30 love for Samsonova. Oh, the backhand drop shot. Lovely execution again from Samsonova. I was surprised that she went for it there. Zhang does manage to chase and get up to it, but then sends the ball well long. So overall, Samsonova's drop shots on that backhand side have been very, very nice. And that's a simple hold from Samsonova. So if you just tuned in, you're watching this live watch along on Tennis Asia TV, but we're also streaming on Talking Tennis. If you are watching, hit like and subscribe. Yeah, so obviously this is the 4th round match between Zheng Qinwen and Liudmila Samsonova, the 8th seed against the 19th seed. A very tight first set that Zheng had to fight back from breaks down as well, and she eventually gets over the line, even down the mini break in that tie break 4-2, but then eventually comes back to take that tie break 7-5, and with some gutsy play as well. But then the second set was a completely different, completely different set with Liudmila Samsonova clearly the better player. Zheng, her level definitely dipped. Samsonova was playing well, but obviously pressure now for Zheng. That was a decent serve there, unreturned from Samsonova. So 30-15, but it's been a tricky one for Zheng this match. And Samsonova actually does lead the head-to-head between these two players. So, but it has been a while. I mean, before this match, it was the last match they played was in 2023. The only time they played in clay was back in 2021, which Zheng won in straight sets. But that's obviously 4 years ago, a long time ago before. So yeah, the other matches coming on hardcourt, and obviously Samsonova winning most of them. But yeah, it's been a while, and obviously Zheng has developed so much of a player in the last year or two. That was Zheng there, just banging down her 6th ace of the match to bring it to 40-15. Yeah, nice 1-2 combo there with the serve out wide and the forehand winner from Zheng. So another fairly simple hold. And we're at 2-1 in this final set. So it looks like Zheng's coming out a bit more composed this time. So yeah, not a bad start for Zheng here. And it's still on serve in that third set between Rybakina and Swiatek and on Philippe Chatrier. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be a tight one there now. Of course, Swiatek, last year's winner at the French Open and the 4-time winner at the French Open. And in fact, having won it for the last 3 years, 3 consecutive years, yeah. So, yeah, obviously big pressure on our shoulders after having had a pretty poor year, really, since that tournament last year. And of course, she was beaten, Iga Swiatek, by Zheng on these courts at Roland Garros during the Paris Olympics. That was in the semi-finals, and Zheng beat her in straight sets. And of course, Zheng eventually won the gold medal. And yeah, the finest moment of Zheng's career so far was surely that Paris Olympics gold medal. So Zheng's carrying good feelings into this tournament, but it's not been a good match for her. And oh, it's there's a bee on the court on and Zheng was really bothered by this. There's a bee just crawling on the clay there, but it has been removed. I mean, it's not quite the bee invasion of Wendy and Wells, right? But just a single bee, but enough to cause bother there for the player. And anyway, let's see how this goes. We've got Samsonova versus Zheng on serve. Samsonova to serve. It was a decent return on the forehand side from Zheng as we go into a longer exchange. Oh, it's a lovely change of direction there with the backhand up the line. The winner from Samsonova to bring it to 15-love. Yeah. This time Samsonova's going for the 1-2, but her forehand goes long. Second serve from Samsonova. Yeah, I don't think Zheng was doing too much there with that return, and Samsonova blasting the forehand inside out for a winner, and that was good first serve from Samsonova, but it is returned from Zheng. Big backhand up the line there from Zheng, but we're still going in this rally. Wow. There was a big loopy ball there cross court from Zheng, and Samsonova decided to go big. She absolutely whacked up the line, but it just goes out. A little bit risky there. I mean, obviously wanted to surprise Zheng there, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's clearly out. Yeah, Zheng's been pretty good defending and laterally on the court, but she did pretty well there. But Samsonova's played a little bit too good. Pierre Riba, Zhang's coach, also again seems to be putting the grip. Gripping another racket for Zheng for the second time today. Well, it was a serve out wide, but Zheng with a poor backhand return, just well out. So still on serve at 2-all. And it's still on serve in the other match on Philip Chatry with Rybakina up 3-2. So not so sunny there in Paris. It's an overcast day, but it's dry, and that's the main thing. So Zheng now to serve, and the set so far has been close, like more similar to the first set. Yeah, and it's hard to see which way this one's going to go. Wow. Yeah, so Samsonova, big return. It was awkward for Zheng, close to her body on the backhand side, but she manages to dig it out, and it dips just inside the far corner. I mean, you have to say, actually really well executed. And that's just that reactions, athleticism, strength there from Zheng. Oh, great running forehand pass from Samsonova, just dipping inside that sideline, and maybe the approach shot wasn't brilliant there from Zheng, but really well done there from Samsonova. So Samsonova up for this, and forehand winners there. She's hit 18 in this match to just 8 from Zheng. Oh, nice exchange there from both players in the rally. But it's Samsonova who comes out on top with Zheng, her backhand going into the net, and key moments here, 15-30 for Zheng. Next point will either be 2 break points for Samsonova or 30-all. You got to feel Samsonova is up for this. Oh, but that's a great first serve down the middle for an ace for Zheng. So she's responding well here. I always feel with the better players, like, I mean, it's in tennis, it's how they, they might not always have the best match overall, but they're able to dig it out in the key moments when it matters the most. Can Zheng keep doing that? Because it's kind of what happened in the first set. Let's see what she can do here. Well, chances there from Samsonova. She was doing really well in that rally, but sliding out wide on the backhand side, Zheng. Powerful shot from her there down the middle that's just does enough to put off Samsonova. And she drags her forehand just wide. And Samsonova will feel like probably an opportunity missed there, but yeah, I feel like Zheng's defense at times has been key in getting her over the line in certain points and key points as well in this match. But it goes to deuce now, so still pressure for Zheng on her serve. Yeah, big serve, this time sort of down the middle. Yeah, right into the body that was difficult for Samsonova to deal with. It just makes such a big difference for Zheng when she got that great first serve and she just doesn't get it in as much as she would like, or a top player like her really should expect to. And on the other match, Rybakina does have, well, she had 2 break points there, but Swiatek has saved one of them. Still a chance for Rybakina to break, and that'll put her in a great position in that final set. Second serve here, though, for Zheng. Yes, and a big roar there as Zheng puts away that volley there for the winner. Yeah, she upped the aggression power there, and she comes out on top, and there's a good hold from her. 22 minutes into the final set. Zheng leads 3-2. But Swiatek, think about Philippe Chatrier. Swiatek still facing a break point. Can Rybakina take it? But she does save that break point, Swiatek, so we're at juice there. So it looks like an exciting one in that final set between those 2 players. Of course, both former Slam champions. Well, and Zheng gets her other racket given to her by the ball boy. Yeah, a lot of players are very particular about their rackets and the tensions, the string setup, the attention to detail. Depending on the conditions, they might want a different, tension on the string, adjust it slightly, a pound down or up here or there, depending on what they feel. And there's huge variability of the players in terms of the tensions that they use. I mean, some players like to have it very tight, others surprisingly loose on the strings. Oh. So Zheng, managed to chip that back. High ball chipped back from Zheng on the return, and it drops fairly short. Samsonova had plenty of time, but she hits that forehand into the net. And that's not a great way to start off her service game at this key point in the match. Love 15. Another serve there from Samsonova. She does get the first serve in, but we're in a rally now. Oh, that is a tremendous sliding backhand winner from Zheng up the line. Yeah, so that loop was that high loopy forehand followed by that sliding backhand winner down the line with power. And Zheng finds herself at love. Well, it's Samsonova at love 30 and her serve. Yeah. Good return. Oh, and again, Zheng sliding the backhand side, but it's not enough to stop Samsonova hitting that forehand and winning that point. So, but Zheng's got an extra spring in her step at the moment, and if I was Samsonova, I might be worried about that. But 15-30 here, another key point either. Potentially could be 2 break points for Zheng. Backhand return. Yeah, Zheng's been, she's been defending well there, but Samsonova just doing enough there to come out on top there, and it's at 30-all. So Zheng, sorry, I should say Samsonova is staying on top in this match and staying with Zheng. And we're at 3-all, by the way, between Rybakina and Świątek in the other match. Oh, yeah, that's another good point there from Samsonova. The forehand's so important for Samsonova. Yep, that serve wide. So second serve here now that Zheng will face. Many bounces of the ball there from Samsonova. She hits this second serve in. And we're in the extended rally. And oh, Samsonova with the error into the net. Unforced error. So we're at deuce. Zheng keeping up the pressure. Ooh, the serve just wide, I guess. And there was no call that I heard. I didn't hear any call from the line judge, but it was the umpire that actually said out. But yeah, Samsonova just had a look and she can see that it must clearly have been out. So second serve there now from Zheng. From Samsonova. A little bit of pressure here. Oh, she has to taking her time here. Oh, that was a great looping forehand return there from Zheng. Looping deep, very difficult to deal with. And Samsonova with the error that gives Zheng a break point. Yeah, Zheng knew exactly what she was doing there. That was brilliantly executed. And this is a break point. Oh, that was very well done from Zheng. She was really ran for that forehand with power, just back in behind Samsonova. And, she let out a scream as she hit that Zheng. But Samsonova just sending it long there. And that was a really nice sort of change up there. And Zheng taking her chance there and playing the big moment well. Commentator I can hear just questioning whether that's a hindrance. I mean, a lot of players do that when they think they're going for a winner, they hit a big shot, they let out a long scream. It may not always be deliberate, distraction. It's just a sort of emotions in the moment. But you can argue that it was a hindrance in terms of Zheng actually extending that grunt and maybe putting off Samsonova slightly. But I'm not sure if Samsonova complained about it there. But she hit the error, and I mean that was partly because of the quality of the shot from Zheng. But that's a tremendous serve, ace out wide there from Zheng. She brings it to 30 love. And Świątek is up a break in that third set. How key might that be for her? She tries to defend her title from last year. Zheng with 8 aces in this match. Samsonova coming out on top in that point, though. So it's 30-15 on the Zheng serve. Keeping an eye, though, on that match between Swiatek and Rybakina on Philipp Chatry, with Rybakina getting the first point in that game there. So love 15 in the Swiatek serve. Now a serve here from Zheng. It's going to be a second serve for Zheng. And Liudmila Samsonova, she does try to return that well, but oh dear. Zheng going for the little forehand drop shot with Samsonova away on the other side of the court, but unfortunately for Zheng, just poorly executed as it doesn't make it over the net. And it's now at 30-all with Zheng up a break. So Zheng, okay, she does. Yeah, she hits the first serve. It wasn't particularly well placed, sort of just down the middle, but it's hit hard enough to draw the error from Samsonova. And she does get a game point now. Game point opportunity at 40-30. She can win this. That just leaves her one game short of winning the match. And you'd have to say Zheng has done well to sort of find a groove again here, but after that poor second set. Okay, I mean, Zheng was scampering all over the court, defending well, but there was only so much she could do, and Samsonova does eventually hit the winner. Yeah, so Zheng back to juice here, so still under pressure, trying to consolidate her break. Yeah. Oh, it's a good serve from Zheng, but it was also a great return from Samsonova, and she finds herself with a break point. Yeah, she'd been hitting quite a few body serves, Zheng, up to now. She decided to go up wide, but Samsonova was ready for it and hit a tremendous return. Oh, but Zheng decides to go out wide again on the ad side this time and gets another ace. Yeah, great when you have that kind of shot in your locker. An ace there from 9th ace of the match from Zheng, which is great on a clay court. But it's Samsonova with the advantage again. The backhand error there from Zheng. Just looking at that other match in Philipp Chatry, Rybakina has a break back point. 30, and she does break back. So Rybakina drama in that final set between Rybakina and Swiatek, back at 4-all. Swiatek was up a break, but it was short-lived. So keeping an eye on that one. But here, Zheng trying to consolidate a break, but she's got second serve here with a Samsonova advantage. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, so it looked like Zheng might have hit a second serve ace there, but the umpire came down to check it. In fact, it was out. So that was a double fault there from Zheng to hand the break back to Samsonova. And what drama here. Yeah, so just like in the other match, the advantage there doesn't last long. Well, well, well. So Samsonova is back in this. Well, Zheng's still technically ahead at 4-3, but we're on serve. And this is getting very interesting. Match to follow this one on Suzanne Longlin is the match between Sabalenka and Amanda Anisimova. The winner of that match will play the winner of this match between Samsonova and Zheng. Again, that could be a very interesting quarterfinal. Yeah, so if you're watching on Tennis Asia TV or on Talking Tennis, please hit like and subscribe. We'll be doing more watch-alongs in the future. And obviously we'll have other content coming. Okay, so the players are back on, ready to start here. Samsonova to serve. So first point in this game to Zheng. Decent return there from Zheng, and the error there from Samsonova into the net. Of course, big opportunity here for Zheng, because if she does break, she'll be serving for the match. Oh yeah, lovely backhand up the line there from Zheng. And she's going for it, you can tell. Smelling her opportunity. Yeah, it's a really nice shot, that one, when she does hit that backhand, backhand down the line. And Rybakina is facing 2 break points from Swiatek, who, of course, if she does break, will serve for that match. Ooh. The forehand dipping, but not into the court. So Zheng lets 1 point go, so 15-30 on the Samsonova serve. Oh, gotta be disappointing for Samsonova. She's going for the forehand again, inside out, but it drags it wide, and she's been so good at that. But what a time to do it, because, now that brings up 2 break points for Zheng at 15-40. Oh, so Samsonova's forehand hits off the net cord and drops out. So that is a break back for Zheng, and she will serve now for this match at 5-3. Meanwhile, on Philippe Chatrier, Rybakina is facing a break point. Can she hold on there? Getting to an exciting point in both matches. And Rybakina does save that break point, brings it to deuce. Drama. Even just looking at that scoreline there. Yeah, players just, people still coming onto the court, spectators. And it seems to be a bit distracting for the players. These days, spectators are allowed to come on to the court during match play, not just at the breaks. Or between games. Oh, good. Yeah, it wasn't the best second serve, and Samsonova was there to pounce on it and hit a nice forehand winner. So not the best start for Zheng as she tries to serve for this match. Oh dear. So that was a nice serve down the tee, but it was returned by Samsonova, and Zheng tries to go big with the inside-out forehand, but sends it wide, and that is less than ideal. He goes down love 30. I mean, she's just broken the last... she was up a break before, and then quickly lost that break. Broke again, Zheng. Is she going to lose another break quickly again? Yeah, waited for that high ball to drop down and finished it off with a smash winner. Well controlled from Zheng, and that could be very key. So 15-30 now. Oh, good first serve. Out wide from the ad side, and we're now at 30-all, just 2 points away from the match for Zheng. Yeah, Zheng hit the serve down the tee, but it hit the tape, so it was a let. So Zheng to serve now. First serve. She decides to go out wide this time. And Samsonova's return hits off the net cord and bounces out. So first match point here. Match point for Zheng Qinwen. And she'll be through to her potentially first Roland Garros quarterfinal. Good first serve, but it's a decent return from Samsonova. I think she's going to... Oh, my goodness. And she hits that forehand out. But Zheng Qinwen drops to the ground. She's absolutely delighted to make it through to, as I said, first Roland Garros quarterfinal. I mean, I guess she should be delighted. So they do have the handshake, and Zheng shakes hands with the umpire, and she raises her hands.
I've just seen it, Eddie. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. Good win for her.
Yeah.
In the end.
Piontek here serving to stay in the match. So if something mad happens here, like, you know, some match points, for example, I'll bring it back. But let's just do a quick 1 minute wrap if we can on Qinwen Zheng against Samsonova. Tell me what happened.
for the whole match. Yeah, so very tight first set. Obviously, it went to a tie break, but Samsonova was up breaks and even was able to serving for the first set at one point. But Zheng Qinwen came back, took it to a tie break, and was even down a mini break in that tie break, and came back from 2-4, win it 7-5, and yeah, it was just nice, clutch, gutsy play in that first set. But there was a completely different second set because after it looked like Zheng might break early, Samsonova held on and she broke, and since then she was doing really well, especially hitting a lot of forehand winners. But Zheng was making a lot of errors and was her level definitely dipped. And then into the third set, it was a closer set than the second set, but Zheng, I definitely deserved to come out on top. She was up a break twice and eventually was able to hold on with that second one. But I felt like she did well in those big moments in that final set to get over the line, and some upped her level of aggression and shot making. And in the end, yeah, it was a case of doing the bringing out her best play when it mattered most.
Seemed like a mental battle as well. I mean, as I say, I haven't seen the match, but I'm just watching the. I mean, that third set had a few twists and turns, just like we've had on Philippe Chatrier as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, it was she served actually better as the match went on, Zheng, but she wasn't able to keep it always when she needed it. But I mean, in the end, I think, yeah, it wasn't the best match overall for her, and she obviously I think she's going to be going over with her coach why she had that big dip in the second set. I mean, it's not exactly going to bode well. Maybe if she's heading into a match against Sabalenka, she's going to cut that out. But yeah, she was really delighted actually getting that win. I don't know if you saw her drop to the ground there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, she was really delighted.
Yeah. All right, Eddie, big thanks for today. Nice, healthy audience as well, it seems, across both channels. Do make sure you hit that like button. You're going to get a reminder of that as well as we end this stream. So yeah, just one more time. Thanks, Eddie, for that.
Yeah, cheers.
And see you all soon.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.